And here we go. This is going to be the first real stream. I'm actually going to be, I'm going to actually be starting this thing. This is something I've wanted to do for some time, is to do some streaming on Twitch. It's kind of, it's kind of a fun thing to do. I've wanted to do it for a while, so I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think. I'm going to try to, fortunately, everything's recording, so I can do this and just have fun. I like the old Ultima games. I've liked watching people stream. So now I'm going to try it. We'll see what it ends up like. Anyways, let me know. I'm starting out, you won't see this very often, but I'm starting out with the beautiful, familiar, for anybody who's had a Commodore 64, the familiar blue screen. This is how I'm going to play at least the first 6 Ultimas, I hope, if this works out, if my plans work out, if I don't become bored with it or get distracted by something else. But here's how I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it on the Commodore. At least, well, maybe the first 5. I don't know. Now, Ultima 6 is about the point when the IBM PC has finally surpassed the Commodore 64 for graphics capabilities. Before that, the Commodore 64 was far superior for sound, far superior for video. And about Ultima 6 is when IBM PCs finally hit the 256 color barrier, which the Commodore 64 can't do. It can only do 16 colors. It's only a 320 by 200 resolution. I've blocked out the blue screen, or the light blue border, because it doesn't work very well with the actual game, because it's just a black border. So I just want to have something a little bit more there. So anyways, let me know what you think about this. And anybody who's had the Commodore 64 recognizes this command, and they have used this command a lot. Oh, wrong one. I'm using the positional key pad, so I need to remember where the key is located on the Commodore. But if you used a Commodore 64, you remember this command, and you remember this command well because you used it a lot. So here we go. Now there's going to be it was kind of a thing where those who kind of hacked or made the copies, they'd put up these little screens. I'm just going to skip it. Come on, there we go. So we don't need to watch that. But here we go into the first Ultima. Now, whoever uploaded this disc, and admittedly this might not be the most legal copy of Ultima 1. I do have legal copies of it for the PC, so it's not like it's a total violation of copyright to play the game. It's just this version might not be the most legal. I'll admit that now. But there are some characters on here, but I'm going to create a new character. We're going to start with an all new character. We're going to start it from a whole new game, and we're going to see where we go from there. So we want to generate a new character. Now, admittedly, I don't know all the details about character creation. I don't remember what every single character does, or character attribute. There are some that do better. Okay, actually, I've got the manual here. And it shows that the strength is, as the manual does kind of the fake Shakespeare. So the strength determines the severity of thy blows. In other words, it's how strong you are. I'm actually going to follow what I saw another YouTuber did. I think the points that he did was a good start. So what he did is he gave himself, let's see here, cursor with up and down arrows. No wonder it's not working wrong. Okay, so he did 20 points on strength, because that gives good strength, good start when you're pretty weak and you need all the help you can get. For agility, it says determines the probability of successfully striking a foe as well as the probability of avoiding attacks. So we'll probably want a little bit of agility. Again, this is going off of what this other YouTuber did, and it looks like it's pretty good to me. Charisma is the selling price of one's possessions at shop. I don't know how much selling I'm going to do. Stamina, it doesn't even mention. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that default. Wisdom says determines the reliability of spell casting and the purchase price of the spells themselves. Well, we will be doing some spell casting, so I'll want that. And then intelligence affects both the potency of offensive spells and the purchase price of goods in shops. And of course, spells it with the double P-E-S instead of S-H-O-P-S as we do in modern English. Anyway, so I'll do that as another 20. I'll finish those off. This is what that YouTuber posted, and I think it does make the most sense. It's just kind of a balanced starting character. And then you hit return to move on to the next step. Now, each race also has an improvement. A human gives a +5 to intelligence, which again is the potency of spells, and it helps the purchase price of goods. The higher the intelligence, the cheaper it is. Elf provides +5 to agility. Again, that's the probability of successfully striking a foe as well as avoiding attacks. Dwarf is +5 strengths. That shows how hard you hit. And a bobbit, of course, this is not, can't use hobbit because that's a trademarked name, Lord of the Rings and all that. It's -5 for strength. You actually lose a little bit of strength by using the bobbit. It's a halfling. So I'm going to use human. Now, one point you might notice with this game as I do this, that it's very similar. The traits and the races and everything and all the creatures and everything are very similar to early Dungeons and Dragons. And that's because, as I recall, Richard Garriott, also known as Lord British, the creator of these games, was very much into the Dungeons and Dragons style games. He really much was into Dungeons and Dragons, and part of the reason why he made the predecessor, Alcabeth, I believe is how you pronounce it, predecessor of Ultima, was to have his own Dungeons and Dragons on computer type of game. So you'll see a lot of similarities. Now, Ultima I was very ahead of its time, very politically correct by today's standards. It doesn't matter which sex you choose, male or female. It has no difference in your standings, in your classes, in your attributes. That's the word. So I will say I am male, so I'm going to stay male. Now, with the class that you take, it does affect, again, your score. It does your attributes. If you take a fighter, you increase in strength and agility. If you take a cleric, you increase in wisdom. If you take a wizard, increase in intelligence, and a thief increases in agility. And so I'm going to take fighter because you get 2. You get +10 for strength, +10 for agility. All the others are just +10 in one attribute. So I'm a fighter. So I've got a character here who he's got some intelligence, he's got some wisdom, but he's really strong, and he's got pretty good agility. So for name for all my characters, I just do Father Corey, and it only allows you to use the capitals. Normally I would capitalize my middle, but that's all right. So there we go. My character is ready to go. Save this character. Why, yes, I will. And now that this is one thing, it's kind of different. I don't know why the game does it. I don't know why they designed this way. You generate the character, and then you have to continue the character. Here you can see the other characters that were created. I'm not going to use the other 2. I'm just going to use number 1. And here we go. We are now in this land. In later Ultimas, it's called the Land of Britannia. This is not what it is, though. It is called Sosaria, is what they called it. And actually, eventually, they go back and later kind of fill in the gaps with the plot line, because there really wasn't much of a plot line. Basically, you're going to... there's a sorcerer that you have to go and kill. And that's the whole purpose of the game. So you're basically wandering around until you do that. So anyways, onward. Let's go check out our new land here. As you can see, you've got hit points. You've got a food. And as you move, it does use food. Sounds aren't... There really isn't a lot for sound, but we'll still have it on here. And then you can go into the castle. And you enter into the castle. And castle of Lord British. This is Lord British himself. Graphics are very primitive, obviously, compared to what we're used to. If you play a lot of RPGs, you play a lot of games, you very much can be spoiled by modern graphics. Like, I was just watching a Twitch or watching a YouTuber, Zisto, play World of Warcraft, and of course, this compared to World of Warcraft is nothing. Oh, it timed out on me. Let's try that again. So transact with the king. Dost thou offer pence or service? Well, I will offer service. Go forth and find the grave of the lost soul. Do not return until thy quest is done. So everywhere you go, you'll have these quests that you need to do. And eventually those quests build up until you are sent out to kill this mage. For now, though, because I'm still just starting out, I'm very low. I have no experience, which means I'm level 1. I'll show that here. Actually, I can do that right now. Z-stats, Z-tats, S is used for something else. It's used to steal. So they had to put stats somewhere else. Well, it's Z-stats or Z-tats. And in later games, it's Z-stats is how they show it. But this shows your possessions. It shows your stats. It shows your attributes. I've got 150 hit points. There's the attributes. We saw those earlier. I've got 100 gold crowns. This is, standard D&D type thing where copper is 1 penny and silver is probably going to be 10, and then gold is 100 pennies. So that's how that works. You can see the weapons. I really don't have much of anything for weapons, just leather armor and daggers. So I really don't want to go against anything big, but basic creatures I can go against. So unlike later games, you can't interact with other people. So like this guard here, in later games I could talk to him, transact with King. He's not here, so I can't do anything with that. You can only talk to merchants and kings. Everybody else is just in the way. It's kind of decoration more than anything else. You can pass a turn. If you hit spacebar, it passes. It does do the passes. It does also cause your food to go down. Every time you move, it goes down. But the characters are there for other just for scenery and stuff like that. As far as I know, you can't talk to other characters in here. You can't talk to anything else. So let's go on into town here. The city of Britain. And here's your main shopping. Again, this is like a lot of games. Oops, I'm not even paying attention where I'm at. This is like a lot of role-playing type games. You can buy your food, you buy your armor, your weapons. Transport is anything from... This is where the game gets a little weird. And it's kind of funny. If you go up here to transport and you buy... This doesn't show it because right in here now it looks like you're kind of your standard role-playing medieval type of game. So you got a horse, you got a cart, a raft, and a frigate. But you can later get onto like a flying car and a space shuttle. I'm not going to buy anything, so let's skip that. Right now I think I'm going to buy I've got some coin, so I'm okay. Let's look at weapons. Let's see what's available here for... Well, there's Iolo. In later games, he actually becomes a player character, or he becomes a part of your team. So I guess you could call him a player character. But let's see what we got for weapons. And I want to buy some weapons, so I can have a mace or I can have a rope and spikes. And of course, each weapon is a little more power or a little more reach. Maybe rope and spikes can reach a little further than just a dagger. I might actually go by mace, because that is a little bit more, should be a little bit heavier than a soul. There we go. So now if we Z stats, you'll notice now it says I've got 2 copper pence and 9 silver pieces. So it does do the 10. Okay. And once you buy something, let's see here now. How do you equip it? It's been a while since I played this game. I do have the instructions or the keys. Ready. There we go. You ready your weapon. And yeah, you see a mace is C. As you go up higher in the alphabet, it more powerful weapon. So now I've got a mace that's ready. Matter of fact, I can hang on to that. Oops, sorry about that. Dismiss. Slide this down here. I'm still trying to figure out, this is my first time doing any real stream. So I'm still trying to figure out placing things on my screen and so on as far as this, because it's just a window. I forgot that I had those pop-ups, so you got to see that someone tagged me on a post on Facebook. Oh well, it happens. Let's see here. So let's see what we've got here for armor. So I've already got leather armor. I could buy some chainmail, but that pretty well wipes me out. I think leather armor will be okay. You can get higher armor still above plate mail, I believe. Kind of the interest. Admittedly, I haven't really given this game a lot. I've mainly focused on Ultima 4. So part of this challenge for me is to actually play these games. Now you can come to food here, and I like how it's just generic food. Transact, buy. Packets of 10 food cost 4 pence each. How many dost thou wish to purchase? Well, right now I got 192 food. I'm doing okay, but I should probably buy 4 more, maybe. Let's see here. So now I've got lots of food for a while. I'm going to stay kind of around the city here and do some fighting before I worry about going and doing a lot of exploring. So I'm not too worried about that. We got the pub over here. Let's see what they got for sale. Transact. Buy. Here, have a cold one. We bought some ale. So some of the games you can actually get yourself drunk by having too much ale. I don't know about this one. Might have to explore that later on. And let's see what's available for magic. Buy. Okay, so you buy, on this one, you buy the spells. Later games, you actually have to buy the regents and make the spells and cast the different phrases for the spells. So it's not as, this one's a little easier. And there's also only about 10 magic spells available to you. So it's much simpler than it is in later games, where there's actually about, I want to say there's 20 or 30 different spells available to you at any point in the game. So it really is as the games have gone on, they become much, much more immersive. Someone commented on that on a Twitter yesterday about how immersive the games are. And the first one here really isn't so much. It really is very simple. I'm not going to buy any spells right now. I'll stick with just my basic weapons and everything. And we're done here, so let's get out of town. Let's go see if we can find some creatures to beat up. Usually you don't have to go too far in these games. They're pretty common. You know, as you can see, as you're walking along, you're losing points. You're losing food. Here's another little town. So we found Britain. And then we go in here, and the City of Moon. Now, many of these names keep coming back. So you'll see them again and again and again. Of course, you go to different towns. You might have different opportunities available. There's Iolo. He followed us. Transact. Buy. See here. Now, there's unlock and ladder up. They have much less magic available. Let's see if they've got any more armor or weaponry available. Same basic thing. Prices will be different too, depending on where you go. It's just trying to get some variety and everything. Yeah, see here now I could get an axe or a sword here instead of my mace. I'll stick with my mace for a little while. We'll give it a try. So let's hear the inn. Now, does that give you the chance to heal? There you go. It's another pub. Have a cold one. Okay. Thou hast best known that many lakes and ponds have strong magical powers. Oh, so you can find a little information too at the pub. That's a good thing. Fortunately, you have to sit and kind of wait for it, but one interesting thing about these games is you don't see it because I'm using my keyboard, but you don't really need to use the arrow keys. Matter of fact, I was having problems using my arrow keys. Instead, like on the Commodore, because the way the arrow keys were set up was just 2 keys and use shift to go the other direction. So you'd have like down and right, and you had to have shift for up and left. So instead, they used the keys that are kind of right next to the enter key, which are different than what they are on a PC. The Commodore had a very interesting computer or keyboard layout. Okay, so let's take him. There we go. See, now we got some copper and some silver out of him. That was pretty easy, actually. I don't mind that. And that's kind of the challenge of this early games. You're kind of wandering around. You're exploring. You're looking for dungeons. You're looking for castles to get these missions. You're building up your stockpile, if you will. And it's a slow process to begin with. There are maps available. You can go online and you can see the maps where everything's located. But you basically have to kind of wander around and see what you can find. Let's enter the city of Paz, another city that you see later. So I'm not going to worry too much about cities right now. Right now I'm going to kind of... Oh, mountains are impassable. Okay, that's not like other games. You can go into cities. Here you see a dungeon. You can go into the dungeon. Oh, there it looks like an orc that needs to die. Oh, it's a bear. Cool. So that's a game. That's a character that's not in here, but you can go into the dungeon. Dungeon of Montor. And I can just... there's a thief. Got him. Oh, he took my daggers. So I lost my daggers. Now I still have my mace at least. So you climb up. Gained 8. Oh, no, does gain 8 hit points. So you recover your hit points by fighting around in the dungeons, it looks like. Okay. Again, I haven't played this one a lot. Matter of fact, I played it very little. And part of this is doing this kind of Let's Play live stream is to figure these games out. I've never really spent any time with them. Right now, like I said, I'm not too worried about the towns. I'm just kind of poking around and see what I can find, exploring, and going from there. And that's kind of how these early games are. It's kind of boring admittedly at the beginning because you are just kind of exploring and wandering around. Okay, this puts me back at pause, I think. Oh, dragon turtle, huh? Let's take him out. You got me that time. And sounds definitely aren't up to World of Warcraft. There's no recorded voices or anything like that. Here's another Dungeon of Doubt. There we go. So, when you are in the dungeons, you turn left and right, and then you move forward and back. It's really, obviously the graphics, they're 3D, but by modern standards, not so much. I'm not doing any damage, but this guy's giving me a hard time. Boy, this guy's really... How am I not killing him? Wow, really? There. So you look left and right, and then you can move forward and back. And you can turn around, and yeah, it is very primitive. Let's climb up. There we go. See, now I get a whole bunch of hit points again. So that's good to know. And it's just, it's very basic. I'm not going too deep into the game yet. Let's get up on this guy here before he can attack me. There we go. Oh, the Loch Ness Monster. Woohoo. No, I know it's not. And some of the creatures are kind of strange in this early one. They settle on the more standard role-playing adventure type creatures. City of Monter. Okay, that's another name that's, all these names, I'm sure Richard Garriott and his team, whoever worked with him on it, they came up with on their own, but they keep coming back. Transact, buy. Let's see what we got here. Okay, nothing special, nothing more than I've already got. So the big ones are the castles. That's where you get your quests. That's where you get your marching orders, if you will. Okay. But right now, this is just, you kind of build up your stash. You go into these dungeons. Ooh, Death's Awakening. That sounds like something I don't want to mess with right now. Okay, so I'm going to need to go buy some more food. Oh, there we go. Some creatures I can go after. Let's enter here real quick, get some food. And this is something that's very familiar to anybody who's played these games, is that there's the scale, the change in scale. So you walk around in the overland and you cover a large area very quickly. Each block is a large area that it covers. But then you walk in you enter the city and it shrinks. Each block is a much smaller area. So you could say like the overworld is 10 steps per block versus the city is 1 step per block, for example. So your food diminishes much quicker in the overworld when you're not in the cities, when you're walking over the area. So let's see here. I need to get, let's get about, I suppose I can afford about 15 of them. Better to have more food than not enough. So that should hold me for a while. Because you notice like here, my food isn't really changing. It's not changing. A whole bunch of steps didn't change. Now I get out here, and every couple of steps it changes. Oh, here we go. Now we got a hood. And he's doing better than I am, apparently. There we go. A couple more hoods here. There we go. Got him pretty easily. Sometimes it's best to pass and let them come to you. Because the AI on this is, to put it simply, not very intelligent. And if you can just get them to come to you. Mine's a Mount Drash 2. Yeah. Some of the names are kind of interesting. Okay, can't. Path blocking is you need to find another way through there. Bat. There we go. I like that. You kill a bat and you find copper, gold, and silver. How's that not? That's. I mean, if that's not a AD&D or Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, snuck up on me. I don't know what is. So, oops, skeleton snuck up on me. He needs to get smashed, but he's doing a good job of it to me. Very good job of it. Come on, why am I not hitting him? This is always the frustrating part is when. And it's all random. It really is. It very much. And of course, these older computers had much more primitive random number generators than even what's available today. But they are very much more primitive number generators, and so you're gonna get cases like that where you're just gonna get your behind whooped. And I need to get out of here. Come on, kill this bat so I can get out of here. Why is this bat not dead? There. And obviously, the more time you spend in these dungeons, the more creatures you're going to have to fight. Because now I want to get out of here so I can get some of my health recovered. Climb up. So, lovely. Let the phone ring through. I forgot to mute it while I'm doing this. But it's, for the time... of course, this was a re-release of Ultima I. Ultima I was came out in 1980, I believe it was. It was a very early game on the Apple II, and that was before the Commodore 64. Commodore 64 came out about 93 or so, or 83, excuse me, not 93. Though it was being sold up until about 93, as I recall. And what the original Ultima didn't come out for. It was a re-release later on after like Ultima 3, Ultima 4 came out, that they came up with this version, kind of make it look like what was available for the Apple. I don't think the graphics are quite the same. I think they are a little bit improved because the Commodore did have a little better graphics than the original Apple II when it first came out. I don't need a pub. Well, actually, yeah, you talk to him and you get hints. So, sure, I'll buy an ale. Have a cold one. And Dr. Cat's a name that you see pop up. He's does a lot of translations and stuff like that. I think he was one of the workers for with Lord British. Thou best know thou must go back in time. Oh, so you got time travel as well. It's kind of amazing how just a innkeeper knows something like that, but that's kind of anybody who's played RPGs and things like that, how that goes. Those type of deals where, they got to have the hints. You got to, how else do you do it? Well, you get an innkeeper, or there's a stranger at the pub or something like that, and, that's kind of how those games work. Oh, you got a little maze just to get to the magic shop. I don't know how much I really plan on dealing with this, but Somebody had some fun with this, I'm sure. They planned this out. So, we got to make it so they got to run around a stupid little maze just to get to the magic guy. I hope he's got something worth buying. You know, and it's interesting. These games are fun. They really are. Okay, he's got really nothing more than anything anybody else does. Yeah, so they're really not useful. That was kind of a waste of time. But I'm just looking at what the different spells do. Anyways, yeah, but I'm glad they brought this back out later on. You can get these, like I said, I'm playing this on the Commodore 64 emulator. Eventually, I would like to hook up my Commodore 64. I have an actual Commodore 64 sitting back here. I think you can see the TV. Let me take a look at my picture and see. Yeah, you can see the TV back here behind me. That actually is hooked up to an actual real Commodore 64. It's also hooked up to an original Nintendo Entertainment System. So instead of this retro 8-bit gaming that's so popular nowadays, I do the real 8-bit gaming. This is an actual 8-bit, an emulator for an 8-bit computer. And that is an 8-bit computer. The Commodore was actual 8-bit. It was probably one of the most popular of the 8-bit computers. I know Apple sold a lot more, but a lot of times the Apples sold more because they sold to things like the schools. You saw more schools. Now, I know there are a lot of home users of the Apple. Don't get me wrong. I'm not denigrating that. Admittedly, I was more of a, of course, I grew up with the Commodore. First computer was a Texas Instruments TI-99-4A. A lot of people have never heard of that one. So that was a waste of time to go there. Okay, so I have to explore this one later. A lot of people have never heard of the Texas Instruments. It was a very short-lived computer. It was a very early one. It was an early competitor to the Apple. Did have a little better graphics, although not by much. I think the Apple had it beat in other ways. And it really was not a popular. We ended up getting it as a kind of a blue light special raffle from Kmart. It was free. We won it, and I used it for quite a few years until it died, and that's when we got the Commodore. And the Commodore I have now is not the same one. This guy's going to give me the hard time here. There we go. Killed the knight, and he gave me some good money there. That's always a good thing. Again, this is all random, so, one character, one creature could be more powerful than others. Oh, another knight. I didn't want to face you. There we go. The Commodore didn't have a very strong random number generator because it didn't have the memory for it. Most random number generators in computers are more or less just a list of numbers randomly picked by, the programmers or what have you. And, they just go from there. So, okay, 152. Let's see, where am I at? Let's do, I don't remember where you hit the level for, or how you level up. There's a way to do that. The more you level up, the more hit points you get. Can come here, it did say transact, pence, how much? Oh, let's give him 100. Let's see what he does. Gives me more hit points. Very good to know. Good thing to know to get easy hit points, I suppose, is to get them to level up or to give them pence. So there are searches. There are things you can do. Let's see here. Go like steal nothing here? Question mark. Okay, I'm not even going to try it. Nothing here. Okay. I was just curious. In this element, well, let's see here. I don't know if that's a hint or if it's, but you know what? That's half the fun of these games too, is steal. Nothing here. Nope, he doesn't have the key. Hoping he'd have it. See what's, in later games, what your actions do affect your gameplay. Because you're become what's called an avatar, and that's the whole plot of the fourth game, and that's where they really start trying to combine the plots of these games together. There we go. So we're just exploring around. Need to start doing a little more. The idea though too is there's other islands that you can go to. There's other castles you got to go to get these quests, and you just kind of keep building up your character, keep getting your experience, better weapons, better armor. I mean, the plot of this game is pretty simple. It's go around and kill things. There's not much more you can do about that. But it is a fun game. They are a lot of fun. And I hope, as you watch this video, I don't know if it doesn't look like there's anybody watching right now. If they are, say hi. I don't see anybody in the chat room yet. But that's all right. Eventually people will show up, right? As I do more of this and kind of promote it more. This is my first time, so... and I'm going to try to upload this to YouTube and just say, this is kind of my first attempt. I am recording it right now. I hope the stream is coming across well. Oh, hey, here we go. Oh, ship. Goody. He's going to thump on me, isn't he? I need some food, so I'm going to go get that here in a minute. Unfortunately, unlike later games, I don't think you... Oh, come on, kill him. I think I'm going to be done for here pretty quick. Ooh. Oh, I think I'm done. There we go. Yeah, you don't get to keep the pirate ship, unfortunately. Okay, so I need to get in here and get some food. The City of Gray. Let's see here. Food. Of course, you can tell that some of these are set to be... let's get some food. Let's do another... let's do another 15. I got the money for that. You need plenty of food. Let's check out magic. It's always good when you get to these towns to check out what they've got, because some are better than others. See these, they're all basic here. We're kind of on the basic island here. I really don't have a use for any of these right now. I'm not doing a lot of magic at the moment. Let's see what hints this guy has for me here. Let's buy an ale. It only costs 1, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, and let's see what we got here. What he has to say. Have a cold one. Thou had best know that the princess will give great reward to the one who rescues her, an extra gift to an 8th level ace. So whoever the princess is, we need to go find her and make sure we are 8th level. Let's see what we got for transportation. Buy. Okay, so pretty basic stuff. I really don't need a horse right now. We're not really... it would speed up your journey, but don't really need it. So skip that. Check out weapons. Oh, we got the guards here, making sure you don't walk off with a weapon. I'm sure if you could attack them if you really wanted to. Buy. Dagger, axe, and sword. You know what? The mace is doing us pretty good, but I think it might be time to move up to a sword. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and ready that. Ready a weapon. We'll ready the sword. And we'll sell the mace. Get it. We'll get 1 gold back. Big deal. Not a big deal there. I'm not too worried about selling them. The advantage of selling them is at least you get the gold instead of getting it ripped off like I did with the thief and my 2 daggers I never got to actually use. And let's talk about some armor, shall we? I got leather. I think it might be time to go ahead and move up to plate mail. I am a fighter, and fighters like plate mail. At least that's kind of the stereotype for any of these games. Let's see. Ready that. Ready. Up. Wrong one. Ready weapon. Okay, you can do hands. Obviously, I'll ready the sword. Ready armor. Plate mail. And I can sell my leather probably for... for 2 even better. I get a couple more. Okay, there we go. So now I'm a little better equipped. Got to ready my plate mail. I didn't do that yet. Ready armor. There we go. Otherwise, I was walking around in my skivvies. We don't want that. You don't want to see me in that. That's not a happy thing. Trust me. So, okay, I'm not doing too well for hit points, I think. So right now might be a good time to wander down and visit the good king. You know what? Maybe I will go ahead and buy a horse. Because horses aren't that expensive. Sold. I have a horse. Kind of think of the Old Spice commercial with the guy about, I'm on a horse. Yeah, well, I will be here. And to do this, you board the horse. Now you press B, but then it says that you've mounted it. Now what this should do is it should move you quicker, and more importantly, I think you use less food. Now, can you attack while you're still on a horse? Yeah, I see there I'm taking 2 steps for every one of... Well, you can. Cool. That was easy. Oops. It does affect, though. I can see that because I'm moving faster. So let's go over here and... Now, like, for example, if I come here like this... Oh, I can enter while on a horse. Or let me enter while still on the horse. Interesting. So I'll get over here. And you notice you can do the repeating key thing. That's always a good thing. I offer pence. How much? Well, let's do another 100. 150 hit points. Beautiful. So it looks like you get 1.5 hit points per pence, which works out obviously to 15 hit points for 10 coin, 10 copper that would be. You know, each pence is copper. Now, if you transact with the king and you offer service, I'm already on a quest. I got to go find that place. I'll have to look back and see where it is I'm trying to find. All right. I'm sorry about that again. You get to see my text messages. And you see I'm still on the horse, so that's good. Actually, at this point right now, unfortunately, I need to go. So I'm going to... Now, this is one of the ironies of these games. You say you quit and save, so you hit Q, quit, saving game, save, but you don't actually quit. On the Commodore 64, all you did is just shut off the machine, but you made sure to save it. Otherwise, everything you've just done is gone. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. First try. I'm going to be trying to do a lot more streaming. Matter of fact, I'd like to spend about a day or so, or about a half an hour or more every day, doing a stream, doing these videos. I'll upload the videos to YouTube. I might do a little editing on them, like to edit out the pop-ups that come up. You'll get to see them on the stream. I need to figure out either disable those or figure out a spot on my screen where I can play the game, probably in the middle, where it will be out of the way, but I can still have like my chat room up. This is going to be kind of figure out the flow of these games. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Drop me a Twitter message. My Twitter's FR Corey Stika, last name spelled Sticha, first name spelled Cory. There's no E in my name anywhere. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I might pop some images up there while I'm playing, things like that. So anyways, thanks for watching, and God bless you, and have a good day.